Oh, and we're right back to the credits. All right, cool. Mom, Dad, you here? Honey, how have you been? It's so nice to see you. How long has it been? We've seen you on the posters, and you know we are so proud. I love the hair, but I can see those roots. And to what do we owe the pleasure of all... To what do we owe the pleasure all of the sudden? I brought a friend. This is Mark. He's the champion. Why am I just meeting everyone's parents? Well, well, well. Nice to meet you, champion. Thanks for being a friend to our daughter. Just a peach, isn't she? Stop it, Dad. Actually, there's something I should tell you guys. I brought Mark because I thought it might help to have someone else who was involved and who's trustworthy. But I got mixed up in something I shouldn't have, and I did some less than great things. Oh, come on. The circus isn't that bad. Not now, darling. Right. Sorry, go on. Before I left, I was bored. Actually, maybe more like depressed. Depressed? I mean, honey, that's serious. Did we do something? Probably not. I don't know what could have been done. I just realized how inconsequential everything was. A normal family with a normal life and perfectly reasonable parents. To a lot of people, I'm sure that's way more than they ever had. And I'm just selfish and spoiled. But then, at least they had a reason for their problems. Stories are full of heroes and characters with zany powers, and this was just school, home, sleep. Just like however many billion other people. I wanted to do something different. Sure, I don't see the problem. And that's why you left. Do you still feel that way now? No. Not at all. Then I'd say the lion taming was worth it. This isn't about the circus, Dad. I got over it, and I'm still having lots of fun with the people I've met. I'm lucky to have people like Mark who appreciate me. But there's a lot of guilt that I have to take responsibility for, and still find a way to move forward with. I don't understand what you mean. So do you guys remember that girl that stayed with us for a bit? Of course. Quite a character she was. Yeah. So turns out, she actually kind of became a god for a while. She what? Thank you all for coming. Once again, shout out to the crew. DJ Arclight on rhythm and mixing. My man Kane with the vocal veneer. And last, but anything except least, that's my girl Aya, bumping it on the bass. One last shout out. Thank you, Reborn City. See you on the streets. Okay. Okay. It's not like I didn't practice. I did practice. I practiced so much. And yet I still messed up every single verse of that last song. And the solo. I think I managed about half a measure before I got every single note. Before I forgot every single note and went full deerling in the headlights. Incredible. Bravo. What a wonder. I sure am bumping it. In the oops, I'm sorry I bumped you and accidentally pushed you down 2 entire flights of stairs way. Hey, excuse me? Hey, are you the guitar girl from the show? You are, right? Technically it's a bass guitar, but you were really super ultra cool. Hey, where'd you learn to play? Hey, is that your natural hair color? Hey, can I get an autograph? Oh, it's so adorable. I want to be just like you when I get bigger. Hey, wait, slow down there, kid. In order. Hey, wait, can you come with me? Sure. I want to introduce you to my brother. He's gonna be so jealous that I gotta meet you. Actually, hey, wait, stay here. I'll bring him. Sure thing. Oh, okay, bye. Stay in school. Or something. Like me, huh? Could be worse, I guess. Mark, you waited for me. Thanks for coming to pick me up. Sorry it took so long. I stayed after to ask the teacher a question, and then I made friends with a kid named Princerella? Princerella. Which, like, wow, just saying. So they and I are gonna eat lunch together tomorrow. Anyway, Eve had a sudden emergency at the clinic, and sometimes Noel comes by, but he had another challenger. I know I could walk home on my own, but that's no fun. I was gonna invite Princerella with us, too, but they said their mom is really picky about when they get back. I know it's annoying, but that doesn't sound so bad to me. Actually, I think a lot of other students take going here for granted. Like, not just because it's a good school, but it seems like everyone can't wait for their classes to end. And I know it might just be because it's novel, but I think it's fun to learn in a group and always have someone to work on things with. I'm really, really glad I could enroll here. Would you thank Miss Florinia for pulling the strings for me again? Actually, I'll just write her a thank you note myself. Oh, looks like it's time to go. I've got an essay to write when we get home already. And I gotta say, taking it for granted or not, I'm not sold on the whole homework thing. It's okay though, I'll get through it. As soon as I get home, I'm gonna go all chill beats to study to on it. you come across what looks to be a lake of simmering sand. Specks of shifting granules swell up in the mound and then pop from bright white at the surface to a tawny glow at their deepest points. Each burst of the boiling bubbles brings the mixture to a bit darker of a color. Would any volunteers like to make a perception check? Oh, I've got it. Okay, I got a 17. So your eyes aren't quite sure what you're looking at. But it takes just a quick moment for your nose to be in the nose. What? One whiff of the air, and you immediately recognize the syrupy sweet smell around you as a mixture of sugar and heat. You have found a caramel hot spring. Cool. By the way, I'm glad Mark could hang out with us today to see this too. Speaking of which, where's Taka? What is this? This is like a XT Meteor get-together? I'm afraid the little prince didn't pick up the phone this morning. I'm sure he's just had a long night and he needs his rest. But rest you all assured. He'll be back with us before long. Anyway, also on a 17, you notice a large, shadowy figure moving somewhere very near what you can only assume is the bottom of the spring. I stab the shadowy figure. At a glance, the figure appears to be much deeper within the caramel than your foil would reach. I stab the caramel. Well, of course you do. Alright, so you swiftly draw your moonlight stinger with a swish and plunge it straight into the caramel concoction with a forceful thrust. But suddenly, it sticks fast in the gluey goo. Zoro, please give me a strength save. 11. On an 11, you try as best you can to shove your sword through the gelatinous gallimaufry, but you just can't get it deeper than a foot or so. Zoro quickly learns that caramel can be very hard and sticky when it wants to be. But you do manage to free your sword from the goop, albeit newly crested with a quickly crystallizing crown of caramel. I lick the caramel. Ah, so Zoro takes a moment to lick the caramel from his blade. Let us assume it rapidly cools fast enough so that he would not burn himself. Any living mortal would fastly find that it is among the most delicious concoctions ever created. But for Zoro von, what is that name? Zoro von Zilkenstein, Zoro von Zilkenstein, undead lord that he is, it brings no such comfort. It is too flavorless to enjoy, and yet the still lingering heat and several unsteady droplets remind him of the blood he is bound by his vampire nature to drink. Verania will quickly enchant the caramel to taste more appealing to him. Right. Zoro. Never mind. Never mind anything I just said. Actually, this is the most delicious caramel you've ever tasted in your unlife. I want to make a caramel popsicle too. Alright. Theo goes to dip the end of her staff into the caramel, swirling it about in just the same way to mix as much of it onto the end as she can. But suddenly, oh, the shadowy figure from within the depths surges over to your side of the shore, and you feel a tremendous force pulling on your staff from within the caramel current. Oh, friends, help! There's something underneath. I stab the shadowy figure. Caramel encrusted sword and all? Yes. Does the caramel qualify as a liquid? An interesting inquiry. What are you thinking? I'm curious if control fluid will work on it. So you think it will not be quite as effective as it might normally be, but surely there are pockets of molten sugar within the spring that can be manipulated. Let's try it. Verania will cast the spell and attempt to hoist the entire figure straight out of the spring. Please give me a, shall we say, flat intelligence check to manipulate these small bubbles of liquid sugar. 22. Impressive. So yes, you dexterously managed to coax this strange creature of the delicious deep out of its sugary habitat. As its body breaks above the molten surface, you find yourself face to face with a gigantic, writhing, licorice eel. Oh. Important question. Red or black licorice? Red. Darn. You'd really prefer black. Casting magic as easily as if it were a fishing rod, Verania dexterously reels the creature to the spring's surface. Its body is an unceasing helix of carmine and caramel, vicious cherry fins forming together as its head in a veritable vortex of teeth and lucre? Searing spurts of sugar surge out across the spring's shore as its tail wildly thrashes about, finally pulled from the depths. You see, this creature is, at minimum, the length of several more humans end to end, and is perhaps prone to preying on the unsuspecting passerby who dare dip their hands in the sugary spring. I stab the licorice eel. But what if it's friendly? An attack roll, please. You may have advantage, as Vera currently has this creature suspended in the air for a brief moment. Natural 20. And an incredible display of caramel-coated combat from Zorro von Zilkenstein, the cadaverous crusader stabs his saber straight into the eel's aberrant eye. The licorice-like creature tries to blink, but squeals and shivers, every cylinder of its confectionery form howling and convulsing at its honeyed hanger. With a gnashing and a thrashing, it slams side to side, shattering the glossy glaze of the caramel crest across the sword. And in its wild rampage, inadvertently pierces itself through its other eye from its soft and sugary insides. Nice hit, Zorro. Something like this is nothing. You withdraw your rapier as the newly blinded beast falls onto the ground, its head bouncing on the surface of the shore in complete confoundment. A long and winding licorice tongue lollygags out of its maw, and you see, tied at the end of it, is a bird cage. Did we just skip a whole combat with that crit? I'll never tell. Verania will open the birdcage. As you open it, you notice that it seems this cage is enchanted with no small number of sigils. Some you recognize as being for protection, others for containment. But you are able to quickly undo the latch, and no sooner than you do, a small shape sharply shoots out of the enclosure and buzzes around you. You quickly recognize the figure as some kind of flying fae, eager to stretch its wings and taste freedom for the first time after surely far too long. As it does so, you finally get a good look at her. What does she look like? A wonderful question. Little starlet, would you please describe your character to us? What? What did Seal get here? Hello, Mark. Hello, everyone. I'm afraid I haven't had the pleasure to get to know you all terribly well in our previous endeavors, but I hope you will be welcoming and patient. You'll be welcoming and patient with me as I'm learning the game. Something like this is certainly a first. I'm sure we'll all be happy to show you the ropes. Yeah, new players are fun. Besides, I'm still trying to convince Mark to join it all. In that regard, you're a step ahead of him still. So Terra plays this with you all as well, does she? Whether or not Terra's in the game is an ongoing debate. Say no more, darling. I think I understand the picture perfectly from there. Now, as to introductions. Paelia is a pureblood pixie performer from the heart of the confectionery kingdom. Okay. That was a long one. So I figured up what was up with the dryer. Okay. I had to ask my neighbor why my clothes were always still wet. But did you know that tumble dry doesn't actually use heat to dry them? I thought, oh yeah, I know this. Dryers totally make the clothes tumble when they spin. That's probably the option I want. Apparently that's not how it works. She was really nice about it though. A little confused, but nice. Man, I feel bad for worrying her the other night. I was trying to make some food and accidentally melted one of the plastic cooking thingies. Spatula. Is that technically a spatula? Well, I left it on the edge of the pan, so then when I picked it up, a bit of plastic dripped down on me, and I accidentally yeeted the whole thing. And it hit the wall and knocked out a light. She heard the glass break and came to check on me, and I kind of tripped over my words explaining what happened, because I was still in shock. And I forgot I was cooking, so the smoke alarm went off while she was still standing in the doorway. But she helped me clean everything up, even though it was almost midnight, because I kind of woke up at like 4 in the afternoon. I should like buy her flowers or something, or like a casserole? That's a normal thing to bring to your neighbor as a thanks sorry gift, right? Actually, I'm not even sure what a casserole is, but maybe I'll try cooking one. Wait, Mark, would you help me make a casserole? If you're around, maybe I won't burn it. Hey, I'm glad we went out today. This is nice. All of this really has been. I mean, I know I'm not great at this whole living on my own thing. Luna, Elias, or the Grunts usually did the cooking and cleaning. But I would have never gotten the chance to do this before. Even just waking up at whatever time I want, as opposed to for the morning drill. It's really nice. I didn't think I'd ever be able to do this. Thanks for being here with me through all of my disaster. And I suppose that's everything. It'll still be some time before we get the resources needed to put it into action, but the planning and coordination can begin already. Frankly, I'll be happy to have it off my plate. The new project manager should be here any moment. He was just on a brief trip to Kalos, so I'm sure he's had a busy return. But personally, I'm glad he came back at all. I wondered, for a bit. I've got to hurry off to another session, but it shouldn't be long. Hey, I'm not late, am I? Okay, we're back. Let's go ahead and continue on. Kalos was awesome. I'll have to tell you all about the stuff Dad and I saw later. Oh, I'm totally late. Well, that's fine. So, are you my cute-as-a-button secretary? I know you had that champion thing going on, but I understand if you gave it up for me. After all, who wouldn't want to work under me? You know, I never expected to have an office job. I always felt like once you turn 20 or whatever, it's over. You're gonna blink and wake up one day and you're 65 and hate and hated every moment of it. Like the 9-to-5 workday might as well be a prison sentence. But I realize now, maybe that was a teensy bit overreactive. It's easy to get swept up in the idea of months and years passing without your control. Because until that happens, it's just an idea that exists in that instant. But in reality, you should have all of those moments to question, every step of the way, if this is the path you really want to be walking. When you realize you can turn away at any time, it makes it that much easier to take the next step forward. At least, that's what I've been thinking. As long as the work is worthwhile, I think I can do that. And a project like this, the Bison Ward restoration, well, that feels pretty important. I'm still a little shaky on calling it home. But maybe that's only because I was so desperate to get away from there. I don't know what it's like to call somewhere home and feel it. But I think maybe this is how I find out. By trying to build one there. So, first order of business. There's a giant semi-intelligent Garbodor that desperately wants a hug, but unfortunately is made of Garbodor. So I'm thinking, and stay with me here, hug suit. Huh? Huh? Hug suit? So like I said, we've been coming here from time to time. Just the two of us. It's been nice. Took a bit of coaxing to get her to try going into the pools, but it turns out they're totally safe. And then last time she was like, I wonder what it would be like to dive down one of these waterfalls. And I've been thinking about that ever since. At first I was thinking I got a couple flying types, but nothing a little swoop and catch can't do for us. But I don't know if I want to take that risk. Not with her. And you can't even see the bottom of these. If something happened, I wouldn't be able to live with myself, you know? So I've been trying to puzzle through a better case. And I think I might be onto something. Hear me out. Hoopa, right? Over here, sis. What are you two doing? We're working out how to jump off this thing. Get over here. Alright, that sounded bad, I know. But I'm talking safety here. I was just saying, if we can find a Hoopa, maybe he can make us some kind of portal. Portal through it, so that we just go back into a pool. I suppose that doesn't sound like your worst idea. Coming from you, that's a huge compliment. Don't let it get to your head. Why'd you call me here in the first place? Oh right, let's battle. You good to play ref, mate? You already scored a higher league rank than me. How long is this little vendetta of yours gonna last? Nah, no vendetta. I'm all over that. This is just for the sake of hanging out. Lest there's something else you'd rather do, but I figured this be the best call. Fine. But seriously, get over here, both of you.